A year ago, I exposed my husband and sister's affair in the most brutal, unforgettable way. Now, they're expecting a child, and my parents expect me to just forgive and move on. I'm 32, and for 5 years, I was married to Alex, 34. We met in college at a charity event, bonded over our love for dogs, and from that moment on, everything just clicked. After graduation, we got serious, and 3 years later, we had a beautiful wedding surrounded by family and friends. I thought we had a solid, loving marriage. Turns out, I was a fool. My relationship with my sister, Jenna, 35, had always been complicated. She was the charismatic, outgoing one, while I was more introverted and academically driven. Growing up, it always felt like she resented me, though I never understood why. One memory still haunts me. I was 14, and I had just won a regional science fair. Our parents took us out to celebrate, but Jenna ruined the night with bitter, cutting remarks about how being a nerd wouldn't get me anywhere. When our parents told her to stop, she stormed out of the restaurant, leaving everyone on edge. That was Jenna always finding a way to turn my achievements into her grievances. Still, I never imagined she'd betray me in the most unforgivable way. Last year, I started noticing changes in Alex. He was glued to his phone, working late more often, and becoming increasingly secretive. At first, I chalked it up to stress his new job at a tech startup was demanding, and I wanted to be supportive. But as weeks turned into months, something gnawed at me. I ignored my gut for as long as I could, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. One night, when he was fast asleep, I did what I never thought I'd do. I checked his phone. And what I found shattered me. Hundreds of messages. Months of deception. Explicit texts. The worst part? The other woman was my sister. At first, I couldn't breathe. I reread the messages, desperately searching for any sign that I was misunderstanding something. But there was no room for doubt. My husband and my sister had been sneaking around behind my back for months. I didn't confront them right away. Instead, I needed proof, undeniable, irrefutable evidence. So, I installed hidden cameras in our home. It was a desperate move, maybe even illegal, but I didn't care. What I captured over the next few weeks destroyed every illusion I had left. They met in my house. My bed. While I was at work, they were together. Watching the footage felt like dying over and over again. And yet, I stayed quiet, because I wanted revenge. The perfect opportunity came a month later, our annual family reunion. All our relatives would be there. If my world was going to burn, I wanted everyone to see the flames. That night, I played my role flawlessly. I laughed at my dad's terrible jokes, helped my mom set up dinner, and even made small talk with Alex and Jenna. My heart was pounding, but I kept my mask intact. When dinner ended and everyone gathered in the living room, I stood up and asked for their attention. I have something special to share, I announced, holding up a flash drive. A little video of Alex and me. My aunt swooned, thinking it was some sweet romantic montage. Oh, if only she knew. I pressed play. The room went silent. The footage of Alex and Jenna played out on the big screen. Gasps. My mom dropped the plate she was holding. My dad's face turned a shade of red I'd never seen before. Jenna and Alex scrambled to stop the video, but my cousins instinctively blocked the exits. I let the silence hang in the air before speaking. I detailed the months of deception, showed the text messages, and laid out everything I had discovered. The room exploded into chaos. Some relatives yelled at them, others tried to comfort my parents. My uncle nearly punched Alex, and honestly, I wish he had. Alex begged, swearing it was a mistake, blaming Jenna, claiming he loved me. Jenna, of course, played the victim, saying I was distant and cold, pushing Alex into her arms. I refused to shed a single tear in front of them. The next day, I filed for divorce. Most of my family supported me, but my parents? They were torn. They were furious at Jenna, but angry at me for exposing everything so publicly. They thought I should have handled it privately. I told them, Alex and Jenna should be embarrassed, not me. Some relatives whispered that I had gone too far. Maybe I had, but I don't regret it. They deserved to be exposed. Every morning since, I wake up with that same brief moment of peace before reality crashes back in. But I'm trying to stay strong. I'm throwing myself into work, surrounding myself with real friends, and slowly, painfully, rebuilding my life. Alex has been relentless, flip-flopping between begging for forgiveness and blaming me for everything. Jenna, predictably, is trying to rewrite history, painting herself as the victim. She even tried convincing our parents that I knew all along and only exposed them for attention. Her lies would be laughable if they weren't so exhausting. I've been seeing a therapist, which has helped more than I expected. Dr. Chen is helping me process my trust issues and dig into my childhood dynamics with Jenna, trying to understand how we got here. I've also reconnected with old friends, including my college roommate, Sarah, who reached out after hearing what happened. She reminded me that family isn't just about blood, it's about who stands by you when everything falls apart. Not everyone in the family agrees with how I handled things, but over time, most have come around. Even my aunt, who initially criticized me, called to apologize. She admitted that she once wished she had exposed her own cheating husband the way I did. Hearing that made me feel a little less alone. 3 months ago, I ran into Alex at a cafe. He looked awful, unshaven, dark circles under his eyes, clothes wrinkled like he hadn't cared in days. For a brief second, I felt something almost like pity. Then, he started talking. He begged for another chance, said he missed me, that he made the biggest mistake of his life. He brought up our inside jokes, the way I used to calm him down when he was stressed. For a fleeting moment, I saw the man I had once loved. Then I remembered the footage. The lies. The betrayal. I told him he made his choice when he crawled into bed with my sister, and now he had to live with the consequences. 6 months have passed since then, and life has taken unexpected turns. The divorce is final, and I got a job offer in another state, one too good to pass up. A fresh start, far away from the memories and the drama. And then, the bombshell. Jenna is pregnant. With Alex's child. They're not together, apparently. It happened during a weak moment after the divorce. My mother was in tears when she told me, caught between excitement about a grandchild and devastation over the circumstances. My father, ever the peacemaker, tried to convince me that maybe this baby could bring the family back together. I told them I wanted no part in it. It might sound harsh, but I need to protect myself. I won't pretend to be the loving aunt to a child whose very existence is a reminder of the worst betrayal of my life. In the midst of all this, something surprising has happened. I've been seeing someone. His name is Mark, and he's kind, honest, and nothing like Alex. He knows my past and doesn't shy away from it. He just wants to be there for me. As I pack for my move, I realize how much has changed. A year ago, I thought my life was over. I had lost my husband, my sister, and any sense of trust. But I'm still here, stronger. Whatever comes next, I know I can handle it. Because I already survived the worst betrayal imaginable.